Yes, of course. Well, thank you, first of all, Mars, for a lovely introduction. It's really, really kind of you. And it's a great question, by the way. So, I've watched, too many brilliant SME or SMB, depending on where you are in the world, SME founders work themselves into the ground, missing the children's milestones while chasing the next lead. We've been there ourselves, so it's not an
Mhm.
unfamiliar territory. Um, for example, a friend of mine, he lost his family business because he couldn't afford that enterprise level sales system that his business really needed. And that's when we realized with Peter that AI shouldn't really be a luxury for the enterprise level or the Fortune 500s. Every business owner really deserves to build something meaningful without that sacrifice that everything meaningful in their life it sort of disappears. So Syrvi AI exists because we believe sustainable growth means growing your business while still having a life worth living. I know it sounds a bit poetic, but that's kind of what it is. So when SMEs thrive the way we feel that, communities flourish, jobs are created, and innovation happens at that sort of grassroots level where it really matters.
And sustainability. And so let's build on that, Peter. I noticed Survey AI has a very specific focus. Businesses with 10 to 100 employees. Why that sweet spot? What unique challenges are these companies facing that made you design a solution just for them?
Yeah. Thank you, Miles. Thank you for the question and also for the invitation as well from me. It's a really good question as well. So, what we realized is that because we've been there as well, at 10 employees, you have a proven concept, and but then at 100, you are establishing a market dominance. So, you are growing, your business is growing, and there is a journey in between. And that's where most businesses either break through or break down. And it's just so it's a so true in real life, and it's a so big thing in SMEs. So these companies have all grown founder-led sales, but cannot afford a full sales team, and let alone multi-channel lead generation, which actually the only thing which can bring predictable lead flow and build pipelines. So they lack resources for multi-channel campaigns, and even if they do or try, most of the time they just burning in between, becoming almost like a marketing director or coordinator in between different agencies or employees within, sometimes both. So we have mapped every inflection point in the journey because we've been there many times, and we built AI agents that adapt to each stage.
Mhm.
So when you are 20 people, Survey works Bombay. At 50, it scales with you. At 100, you got a fully integrated system that's grown alongside with your business. And that's so critical because our AI agents, which we developed, and it is possible to grow with your own business, and they actually interacting with you and with your business and with your customers, and they became just better and better. And that's how can you achieve that freedom, which is actually
Less. And that really hits home. It's like you've mapped the messy middle of business growth, the point where things can either break through or break down. And having a system that adapts with the business at each stage, I guess that's a huge relief for SMEs, right? And now, the way you approach this is very different from traditional software companies, is Stan. You've identified this underserved market with specific needs. You call it service as software. Can you break down what that really means in practice and why it's such a game changer compared to the old SaaS model?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's a really good question. So most people would be quite familiar with SaaS, a platform that you pay into, you get your subscriptions, and this is different. So the way I like to sort of explain this is a traditional software or SaaS is like buying a Formula One car when you don't know how to drive. Service as a software means that we're providing the car, the driver, the car, the pit crew, and the race strategy. So hopefully you're getting my Formula One analogy here. So there's a lot goes into it rather than just the car itself. A Ferrari on its own is not going to win you a race. So all of these components put together is what we bring to the table with our service as software offering. So SMEs don't really need another dashboard to learn or another tool to learn. People are in SMEs or SMBs are already very busy people. So they really need results delivered. That's what they're after. So our AI agents don't just provide the tools, they execute campaigns, they qualify leads, they conduct outreach, and they also manage the follow-ups, which is obviously all of these are very critical aspects of you generating leads and actually really turning them into customers as opposed to just having lots and lots of leads in your CRM.
Mhm.
Um, so with our service as a software approach, you're not buying the software to do the work yourself. So you end up having to buy yourself effectively another part-time job. And what you're doing is you're accessing a complete AR workforce that really is already trained, is already optimized, and it's already working. So imagine hiring a full-time lead generation team, for example, on a Monday, and having them productive on a Tuesday. That service as software, and I think for most people, most business owners, like Peter and I said, we've been there before. It's
Mhm.
an unimaginable thing that sort of thing happens, which is exactly why we've put this together. So hopefully that helps you clarify that little service as software.
Real
Correct.
results. And that distinction makes all the difference, I guess. It sounds very revolutionary in theory, but let's make it real, Peter. Can you share a client success story that really shows the kind of transformation Survey can create for a business?
Yeah. Thank you very much for the question. And I think it's a very good question to actually. We have many. Thankfully, since we put together this system, V-Solar, for example, in the UK, it's a UK-based company. It's not a big company, but it's not a startup with between 35, 40 employees. It perfectly illustrates what happens when SMEs embrace AI as a team member, and it's so critical to understand the distinguishing between um, as an extension of the team and the team member rather than being scared about replacing a team members or humans because there is a continuous feedback when we are engaging with clients in the first and also reading from others as well. It's a really sometimes is a scary thing that AI gonna take our jobs. That's not true. For example, the business development manager Alex described it's a the business before they engaged with us. It was time consuming and frustrating with very little success. I think in the qualified response rate, they were stuck around in between 1 and 2%, and deals were taking 120 days plus to close. Now, within 6 weeks of deploying our AI agent, Rachel, who literally onboarded as a team member, and she's been, apologies for using the word, she's been treated as a team member with all the training materials and everything else we uploaded for her, and we trained her, and we obviously do everything we can possibly do that for a success. So the transformation, the deal closure dropped by 50% from 120 to 60 days, and also the increase in response was around 35% increase in qualified responses. So I'm talking about people who actually want to speak to the sales team. So, for example, Robert, the sales manager, told us the game changer thing was for them that sales reps now only talk with qualified prospects genuinely interested in solar installations. They are not just generating more leads, they have fundamentally changed how they operate. So the
Mhm.
team morale now transform because they building relationship instead of cold calling. It's not about any problem with cold calling. It's that people like it, some people hate it. It's a necessary thing to do, but the lot of time and wasted time calling numbers who never connect or never answer to the phone, and even if they do, it just take time to get them through the journey and identify whether they have a real interest or not. And all these things can be handled by an AI like Rachel. Yeah, of course. Thank you. It's a great question again. Um, when let's say there is Sarah, a sales rep, turning up in 9 a.m. in the morning, And instead of chasing, dead leads sometimes or trying to do the admin work from previous day, trying to figure out what she's gonna do and how she's gonna be delivering the results her manager expects. She just literally turning up her computer, 4 or 5 highly qualified meetings already booked in her calendar. And when I'm saying highly qualified, it's so critical because um, helping using AI in lead generation and sales is not just about generating more leads, not just necessarily, but it's also making sure that those leads are qualified before the human team even get in touch with them in the first place. Because let's be honest, everybody who has business or working in business or in sales or lead gen, we all know that 95% of the prospects reaching out to us are never going to be convert for many reasons, and the AI can identify those signals if there is a pain, the urgency, and the budget. That's how
Mhm.
they that's how we always trained. And if there is a need, if there is a pain, if there is an urgency and a budget, then they can book those calls in a calendar. So let's say sort of turning up is already the meetings booked there. It's all the information the CRM already provided. The AI done all the research. So when she's turning up, she doesn't need to, oh, I just want to have 5 minutes to find out about this person. All the information is there, so she can have very educated conversation with the prospect. During the call, if it's recorded, the script can go to the AI agent, which the AI agent can develop the proposal for the client, and Sarah just need to approve it, can go to the next meeting. The AI agent can send an email with the proposal after the approval, and she can the AI agent can also do all the follow-up emails as well, preparing and can prepare all the next leads as well for the next conversations as Sarah goes through all the appointments. By the end of it, all the prospects receive the proposals, all the follow-up emails being sent. So all those small admin task is removed from her life,
Yeah.
essentially. Thank you very much, Miles. It's a really good question. So first of all, the most important thing is there is a way out of this. And the reason is so important for me to tell because as Ishfan mentioned, I mentioned as well, we've been there and we've been there many times exactly when we just didn't see the way that it is ever gonna work when you have a pipeline and the consistent deal flow which you can generate and you can actually just literally just turning up and closing all those deals. Or if you have a sales team, you're big enough, you have a sales team and they can close deals rather than chasing leads who are never actually gonna convert or jumping on leads which is too late. So normally it's just building a predictable pipeline, a consistent lead flow, which break that cycle. With the first week, you will see already your pipeline is growing. Within 2 weeks, you are having conversations with prospects you couldn't have reached before. Within a month, you get a systematic approach that doesn't depend on heroic individual efforts or luck or anything like that. Obviously, you have to have some pipeline for this to happen. If you don't have, then obviously it just takes some time just to initial setup. Normally, within just to go into times within first 2 weeks, we analyze your business, we configure AI agents for your specific market and your specific ICP, so ideal client profile. We're looking at your CRM. If you need CRM, we provide. If you don't have, but if you have, then obviously we look at how we can connect it. Normally from week 3, then is a campaign launches. So it's not just about Rachel calling people, but we also have Michelle who's sending emails, personalized email. Each of the emails are different and unique. And then all these outreach activities going to be pumped up with Rachel. Week 4 and 6, then is a full system activated. So how many agents you need, we deploy them, and from there we continuously increasing and adding if required more agents and more touch point to that system in order to the system being able to work 24/7 and continuously qualifying prospects. As I said, just booking those calls for your sales team calendar or for yourself if you are on yourself. So month 2 and onwards from the second month, you are in actually in cruise control. So continuous optimization, regular strategy sessions, improvement, and improvements. The best thing is the self-learning module function. So all of our agents and our system as well, learning, it will always be better and better and better based on the feedback loop and also based on performance and the metrics and the numbers which we are feeding into the system. So the most important thing is a strategy call if anybody is interested in, and then we map out everything, and then in the first 30 and 60 days we can just roll.